you come over here, it's gonna be different. You gonna get what Let him go, let him go, let him go.
In the heart of New York City, where dreams are chased and hearts often get broken, Chrissy found herself facing a painful turning point. Her relationship with Jim Jones had always seemed like a beautiful story, full of affection, laughter, and plans for the years ahead. Together, they were seen as a strong, admired couple, known for their deep connection and shared vision. But hidden beneath the charm and admiration was a truth that could undo everything they had built. One evening, just like any other, Chrissy came home feeling tired but content. She looked forward to a quiet night, maybe dinner, some conversation, and the comfort of being with Jim. As she settled into her usual routine, a message appeared on her phone. At first, she ignored it, assuming it could wait. But something inside nudged her to take a look. What she saw on social media left her stunned. It was more than just surprising, it was heartbreaking. In a matter of seconds, everything shifted. The life she thought she knew, the man she believed in, and the love they shared, all began to feel like a carefully hidden lie, waiting to fall apart.
I'm tired tonight.
I have something to say. Jimmy, sit down, Jimmy, sir.
What's going on?
It's okay. She don't care. No, we're okay with this. Are you okay with that? Look at me. Look at me.
What's wrong with you?
Grab hands with one another, please. You all should be together.
Rumors had been going around, and when Chrissy finally found out the truth, it hit her like a punch to the stomach. Jim, the man she had loved and trusted for years, had gotten another woman pregnant. The shock was so intense it felt physical. Her heart pounded, each beat echoing with disbelief and heartbreak. As she scrolled through social media, trying to piece together what had happened, a wave of emotions crashed over her: confusion, rage, sorrow. Everything she thought she knew about their relationship suddenly felt like a lie. A secret girlfriend had appeared out of nowhere, and the life Chrissy thought she had built with Jim now seemed like a cruel illusion. She couldn't understand how he had hidden something so big from her. Days passed, filled with painful questions and sleepless nights. Though her friends tried to comfort her, each conversation reminded her of what she had lost. But instead of letting the betrayal define her, Chrissy made a choice: she would not be broken. She realized that her life was more than just Jim's choices. This was her chance to take back control. She began thinking seriously about divorce, not just as an end, but as a new beginning. With the help of friends and legal support, she slowly started the process. The day she confronted Jim, her nerves were on edge. Their home, once full of laughter, felt cold and empty. Still, she stood her ground. Looking him in the eye, she said clearly, "You broke the trust we built. You made choices that destroyed everything. I deserve better." Jim tried to explain, but Chrissy had already begun letting go. With every word she spoke, she felt lighter, as if she were reclaiming a part of herself that had been buried under the weight of betrayal. In the weeks that followed, Chrissy turned her focus inward. She reconnected with old friends, picked up old hobbies, and even traveled to places she had always dreamed of visiting. Every step reminded her that beauty still existed, even after heartbreak. She wasn't just healing, she was growing. Stronger, wiser, and more hopeful than ever. Chrissy was finally ready to write a new chapter. One filled with joy, independence, and love, not from someone else, but from herself.
I'm tired tonight.
I have something to say. Jimmy, sit down, Jimmy, sir.
What's going on?
It's okay. She don't care. No, we're okay with this. Are you okay with that? Look at me. Look at me.
What's wrong with you?
Grab hands with one another, please. You all should be together.
Yeah, you
Rumors
should.
had started to spread, but Chrissy didn't want to believe them, at least not at first. She had always trusted Jim, or at least convinced herself she could. But one evening, as she casually scrolled through social media, everything changed. Post after post, comment after comment, it all began to add up, forming a painful story she never imagined would be hers. Jim had gotten another woman pregnant. The realization hit her hard. It was more than just surprise, it was heartbreak. In its rawest form. Her chest tightened, and her stomach churned like she had been punched from the inside. Each heartbeat reminded her that this wasn't a dream. It was betrayal, deep, cruel, and cutting. Chrissy couldn't believe it. A woman, someone she had never heard of, was now tied to Jim in the most permanent way possible. She felt haunted, like this stranger had stepped into her life and shattered the world she'd carefully built over the years. Everything she thought she knew about their relationship suddenly felt fake. All the plans, promises, and memories seemed to dissolve like mist. She couldn't understand how Jim managed to keep something so major hidden. It wasn't just cheating, it was a whole secret life. And the lies ran deep. In the days that followed, Chrissy was overwhelmed by a storm of emotions. Anger, confusion, sadness, it all swirled inside her. Friends tried to be there for her, offering comfort and listening ears, but every conversation reminded her of the life she thought she had. The grief was heavy. The man she loved had betrayed her, and the support of others, while kind, couldn't undo that truth. Still, somewhere in the middle of the heartbreak, something inside her shifted. Chrissy realized that she didn't want to be defined by someone else's choices. This wasn't just about Jim's betrayal anymore, it was about her finding herself again. She had given years of her life to this relationship, and she wasn't going to let it break her. Instead, she decided to rise. Slowly, quietly, and powerfully. The thought of divorce began to feel less like an ending and more like a beginning. It wasn't just about signing papers, it was a way of reclaiming her future. With the help of close friends and legal advisors, Chrissy began taking steps to move forward. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but it was necessary. When the moment finally came to speak to Jim face to face, it was tense. They met in the space they used to share, but now it felt like a stranger's home. The laughter they once shared had long since faded. Still, Chrissy stood tall. Her heart was racing, but her voice was steady. "You didn't just make a mistake," she told him. "You destroyed what we had. I deserve honesty. I deserve respect." Jim tried to explain himself. His words stumbled, his expression shifted from defensive to regretful. But Chrissy didn't let his excuses affect her. She had heard enough. That conversation wasn't about fixing things, it was about closure. And with every word she spoke, a little more weight lifted from her shoulders. In the weeks after, Chrissy poured her energy into rediscovering herself. She reconnected with friends she hadn't seen in years, picked up old passions, and began to truly live for herself. She even traveled, something she had always wanted to do but had put off for too long. With every new experience, her confidence returned. She realized the world was still full of beauty, even after heartbreak. Chrissy began to believe in her own strength again. The betrayal had been painful, but it didn't break her. If anything, it revealed how resilient she was. Her future was no longer tied to someone who had deceived her. It was hers to shape. At the same time, her complicated relationship with Jim's mother, Mama Jones, became more public. On Love and Hip Hop, New York, Mama Jones admitted she and Chrissy didn't get along and often avoided one another. She even claimed Chrissy was unhappy in the relationship and had distanced herself from the family. Chrissy, on the other hand, shared that marriage was no longer a priority for her and Jim. They had been together, on and off, for nearly 16 years without tying the knot. While Jim expressed his wish to marry, Chrissy no longer felt it was necessary. She believed that commitment wasn't about ceremonies or rings, it was about readiness, and neither of them had truly been ready before. She explained that everyone moves at their own pace, and she wasn't going to force something just to meet expectations. Mama Jones disagreed publicly, saying she supported her son but didn't believe Chrissy's claims. Despite the tension, Chrissy made it clear she was staying with Jim on her own terms, not because she had to, but because she chose to. Their relationship continued to draw attention, especially with their return to the show for season 10. Years earlier, in a dramatic moment, Jim had traveled to Miami to propose to Chrissy, an effort to prove his commitment after years of uncertainty. But despite the gesture, the couple ultimately decided not to marry. They remained together, but on their own path. Looking back now, Chrissy knows she's come a long way. From betrayal to healing, from heartbreak to self-love, her journey hasn't been easy, but it's been real. She no longer sees herself as a victim. She's a woman who faced the hardest truths, made brave decisions, and came out stronger. Her story isn't about what Jim did. It's about how she rose from it. Chrissy now walks forward with her head high, embracing a future that's fully hers, rich, bold, and full of possibility.